Association Rockstars, where we hear about the journey and insights of some amazing association executives and partners who are building the association industry that we need for tomorrow. I'm your host, Lowell Aplebaum, the CEO and strategy catalyst for Vista Cova. I partner with organizations on strategic facilitation, and I'm excited to have with me today Nabil El-Ghoroury, PhD, CAE Executive Director of the California Association of Marriage and Family Therapists. He's a member of the 2016 to 18 DELP Diversity Executive Leadership Program. He's currently the Vice Chair of the ASAE Ethics Committee. He's bilingual with English and Spanish. He's spoken on 5 continents, Antarctica hopefully coming up sometime soon. And Nabil's topics of expertise include self-care for the CEO, ethics and association management, innovative strategies with chapters and components. Nabil, we're so happy to have you with us today.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, I will give the disclaimer that we picked the perfect moment in time because evidently the Blue Angels are doing a flyover between San Diego and LA, which is in the general area where you're located. So we may have the pleasure of hearing some fighter jets there with some aerial acrobatics in the background.
Yes, I scheduled it. I planned it perfectly, right?
Well, I will say perhaps it relates to it. We like to start, of course, with acknowledging that, rock stars come with some amazing prowess, some amazing experience and amazing skills. And so within all of your journey, what have you found to be one of your superpowers?
So it's funny you should ask about superpowers because I really feel I discovered mine in responding to the pandemic. Mm-hmm. And I've been describing it to friends as that. And really, I think my superpower is leading in a crisis. Yeah. Because I feel I was acting as a CEO for the last 2 years. I was doing it, I was doing my job, but then I became one really in the last 2 months. I just started trusting my instinct, making smart decisions, thoughtful decisions, and then keeping a team cohesive. When I reflect on where my association was 2 years ago when I started to now, it's such a change. We have so at CAMF, the California Association of Marriage and Family Therapists, we have this, we have a golden handcuff benefit, which is we offer phone consultation for members with an attorney, so a legal consultation. And we take 18 to 24,000 legal consultation calls a year. Wow. So over 100 a day. And so this benefit is so critical to maintain.
Yeah.
And we were able to seamlessly transition from one day in the office to another day remote like that. And when I started, we couldn't have done that because our AMS and our phone system were not set up for that.
Yeah.
And under my leadership, we changed it. And so we did that, but then also I've been keeping my team really positively focused. So I record a video 1 to 2 minutes every day, and I send it to them on Slack. One message.
Yeah.
One tip for the day, and then that's it. And they see me smile. I say the day and the date. It's almost my captain's star log.
So, I like it.
Yeah. So it's been really, I really found that leading in a crisis is my superpower.
Well, obviously there's a number of steps it takes to get to the place where you're the leader through a crisis. In your own journey, when did you realize that this association world is the home, that the profession that you wanted to pursue?
When did I wasn't convinced when I started in associations that this would be my career. I came from the industry. So I'm trained as a psychologist. I have my PhD. I'm licensed in Ohio and started working at the American Psychological Association and enjoyed it. But it was at first just almost an experiment, like doing something different.
Yeah. And
then really I discovered I loved all the projects I could work on because it wasn't the same thing. I had a hand in starting a conference. I had a hand in running a board. I had a hand in marketing. I had a hand in advocacy. And so I really enjoyed every day doing something different. And then the other thing that I really liked is that I see myself as a connector. And at APA, I was able to really connect people so easily because I knew so many people. And that was really when I decided that I loved association work.
Yeah. The transition, but the connection to like what you studied, I imagine allows you to have like a stronger connection to sort of the mission and vision. I mean, clearly, right, the American Psychological to where you are in California now. I mean, I imagine that makes it easy for you to talk about like the importance of the associations you worked for, associations overall.
I think so. I never anticipated that my first executive director position would be for a mental health association. Because I do see myself as an association professional. I earned my CAE. I feel I could work with any industry.
Yeah.
But it was the perfect place. I mean, it's in my hometown, San Diego, and I understand the industry, and I can talk from the experience of a practitioner, but also as an association exec. So this is really a lucky roll of the dice.
So from looking within the space, are there other leaders that you see that inspire you, or do you see sort of the role that associations play that you're like, these are the ones that are helping guide us to tomorrow?
You know, I was thinking about how I was able to prepare for the crisis, and I am eternally grateful to Cynthia Mills. So she's one of my consultants here at Amft, and I had a meeting with her February 25th, and she said, watch out for COVID or coronavirus. And I started prepping that day. So I got my team, my executive team, and said, test everyone remote before, quickly. And so we were able to test everyone remote. They could do it. We did a trial run all remote on the 13th, which is the day that California closed its schools. The dominoes fell so fast. And
they did.
I remember thinking, like, in the week of the 13th, like in the 9th, thinking, okay, my line of the sand is the schools. When the schools close, that is a game changer. And it was 3 days later, the schools closed. It was outrageous. But the only thing we were late was we had 3 notebook computers that were back ordered. And so they came in on the 19th instead of the 16th.
If that's the worst thing that happens, you're doing okay.
And everyone was able to work. Couple minor internet issues with some folks.
Yeah.
Everything went well. But Cynthia Mills gave me the heads up. And that is such an important tip, I think, is have a good team around you, have a good set of eyes to prepare, to be ready for anything.
Cynthia, close friend, colleague, mentor to me to so many, right? And so I'd say on the short list of how to become a rock star, having Cynthia Mills as your coach and your mentor is probably a good thing to have on there.
Yeah.
I would also say, for those that are not yet in the C-suite, right? For those that are thinking about, like, especially in a field in this moment, feels like we're really starting a new chapter in many ways for how we're going to function and operate, at least for the near future. If you were mentoring others, if you were mentoring future Delp scholars and giving them, some perspective on, like, how do you determine what your like path of growth is and how to succeed on it? What would you tell them?
I always encourage people to look to grow. I'm a big fan of professional development. So earn the CAE, because it really does challenge it changes how you think. Before earning my CAE, I was very into operations and implementation, and it really elevated my thinking to that strategic level. So I do that. At the same time, so I know a lot of people who are looking for new jobs. I always tell people, make sure that new position is something you are looking forward to, not that you're running away from where you are right now.
Yeah.
Because if you better be excited about this new opportunity. And I'm grateful that in my role, I've been able to sponsor a lot of people to get new positions and new titles. And I'm really excited about that.
You know, I often frequently have similar conversations with those that are looking to see what their next step in the journey will be. And so often what I hear is like, oh, I want to find an organization who I really believe in their mission and vision. And the juxtaposition of that with like, that is a wonderful component to have. But if the position you're taking is one where you're not going to love your work every day, your passion for the mission and vision only gets you so far.
Right, right.
You know, and so that, as you mentor others, right? Like, how do you help them think about that place of balance between, right, the purpose of the organization as well as the purpose of the position and their own professional journey? What do you tell them to think about?
I think it always starts with, I mean, you know, I'm a therapist, right, in training at some point. So I mean,
Sure.
there's
Sure.
always
I look forward to my analysis afterwards. Thank you.
there's always this juxtaposition for me, but I think it always starts within. Like, think about yourself and what that opportunity would do, you know, both career-wise, but also on a day-to-day basis. I mean, a good example, actually, my mentor, Matthew Duva, he mentioned that you may be stuck at a place for a while. Don't plan everything as a stepping stone. Yeah. And we are in an era right now where jumping may be more difficult. I mean, you might onboard and never meet someone in person at your new company, and there are people doing that right now. So I think thinking about what it is that you enjoy about a work, about position, and being sure that about what you are certain for yourself, and then look at how it fits with the position and the opportunities that you have.
So, you know, particularly in your own journey, as you went from perhaps work within the field to like the experiment of American Psychological to taking a C-suite position, a CEO position for a state org, you know, as you think about like your long-term journey of ahead, I mean, right, already clearly like you're
there it is.
All right, everyone picture the Blue Angels at that moment. That's what just happened.
That
is awesome.
Literally went over my building. I could feel it. Usually it's 2 miles north.
Yeah.
That felt a lot stronger. So this is I kind of wish I was outside watching.
Well, we'll call it a hashtag Blue Angel moment on the conversation at least. We'll see if we can find a video send you after. You know, as you're thinking about like the long term of your own journey, like not just like maybe you'll be here forever. I'm not trying to rush you out of your position, right? But as you're like thinking, not just about the next 2 years, but the next 5, 10, 15, 20, how do you think about your own journey going ahead?
You know, my journey has been in chapters, and it was only at this most recent transition that I discovered that about myself. But I'm 7 to 10 years at different places. And so grad school was 9 years. My first job was almost 7. APA was 9 years. And so I think about life in transitions, and there are different circumstances here in San Diego that might compel me to stay. I have a dad who's 80 years old. I have a adult brother with autism, and he lives with my dad. And while I have my other brother and a cousin here, it's not, I'm an expert in autism. That's actually why I became a psychologist. So I might have a reason to stay longer than that chapter would normally be. Sure. But you never know. I think being open to the opportunities that come is really important.
Yeah.
You know,
we're connected in a number of places on social media, and the love for your brother is palpable in how you present yourself.
Thank you. I mean, it's such an important piece of me is that Omar is such an important part of my life. People forget I have a second brother, so there's 3 of us. I don't talk about him as much.
Right.
But he is actually just as important in Omar's life. And I'm really grateful for Omar being in my life. It's hard to see him right now and not hug him. He comes up to me and I have to say, no, Omar, not right now. So it's tough, but thank you, I appreciate that.
Well, I think I think whether it's my own like niece and nephews, whether it's our siblings, right? This is a moment where so many of us in this space are those who show care explicitly for one another, for those we care about. And we're struggling with how to do that. You know, I guess I would ask this as we're getting near the end, as you think about, you know, succeeding, not just persevering, but succeeding in this moment, right? Knowing that, of course, ASAE Annual is going to be virtual this year, and like the in-person meetings seem like they're on pause for a while. And so those moments of like making new connections in person are being pushed to virtual settings at a minimum. Any thoughts you have that like we discover rock stars because of the connections we make, because the relationships we're able to form? Where should we find tomorrow's rock stars? How do we find where they are?
You know, I have this love-hate relationship with Twitter, but I have made some amazing relationships off of Twitter. You and I both know Cecilia Plaza, who's currently at ASAE as the director of the research office. And she and I met on Twitter because DELP my class had its first reunion December 2016, and I posted about it on Twitter, and she asked me about it, and then we started having conversations about DELP and applying for DELP. I sent her my materials, and then it was in April that year we actually met in person for lunch. And you know, normally you wouldn't meet anyone, you know, without not at a conference or something like that.
Right.
But it developed into an amazing friendship, and I really, you know, I think you can meet some great rock stars in social media. I think we have to rethink about how we, in this world, we have to rethink how we meet people. You know, we're going to meet there's going to be a lot of people we meet through Zoom, through happy hours, through house party, you know.
Yes.
All these kind of ways.
Well, I'm hoping that we find ways to both highlight those that can be the connectors to help some awesome people we have coming up meet each other. And appreciate you giving us some time today.
Thank you. I appreciate it as well.
Want to give a good shout out to Amy Hager, who as always is looking to engage with you on the comments and helping produce Association Rockstars. And of course, thank you to everyone listening in live or afterwards. Any questions or ideas or comments you can post if you're watching the recording. We'll get back to that as well. Until our next conversation, Association.